Welcome back, everybody. Easy Astronomy, Jay here. Just going to go through the newsletter for this upcoming week, December 28th through 2025, through January 3rd, 2026. As you can see here, it's brought to you by Easy Astronomy, where we try to make astronomy just a little easier for you. Happy New Year, first off, to everybody as we go into next week. We'll begin 2026. A little weird typing it, but just got to get used to that. It's something we do every year, right? Here's the moon calendar for 2026. I've included the illumination levels here, and you can see that as we go into this week, we are facing a very bright waxing gibbous moon as it heads right to Saturday the 3rd to full moon, which is the first supermoon of 2026, and we'll talk about that in this episode. Observing this week means you're probably going to want to do it early in the week. If you're going to look at lunar, probably use a moon filter. I will, if I get the opportunity. We'll see what my skies do. They've just been horrible since the last 2 weeks. It does mean, I think, as we approach full moon, very limited in our opportunities for lunar observing, except for naked eye. I don't like looking at the moon when it gets so bright like that. Anyway, open clusters, double stars remain a key thing that we can go after for this choice, and we'll talk about that as we go through the newsletter this week. Here you can see the lunar progression, put it into a table for you. You can see the illumination here, what the phase is right here, and the significance over here. That full moon on January 3rd, next Saturday, is a supermoon. It's called the Wolf Moon, and anyway, it's going to be probably, I think it's the largest supermoon for 2026 is what I read. So anyway, let's continue on, and as I always do, always want to adjust this as I go through it so the newsletter looks nice. Here's your astronomical highlights. There's a New Year's Eve alignment, December 31st. The waxing gibbous moon appears near the Pleiades, and look up at midnight and you can see brilliant Jupiter high in the sky, pretty close to the moon too. On January 1st, planets galore. Jupiter and Saturn, they dominated all week. We'll talk about that when we come to solar observing. Jupiter rises in the east shortly after sunset, while Saturn is visible to the south-southwest after sunset, fades off pretty quickly through the evening. So I'd probably start with Saturn, then we'll go to Jupiter. January 2nd, the moon is near Jupiter and Pollux. That's what I was thinking earlier. So on December 31st, waxing moon appears near the Pleiades. On January 2nd, it's between Jupiter and the bright star Pollux in the constellation of Gemini. Would make for a really good alignment. Probably really good if you're imaging for a wide field shot, just with a DSLR camera or something like that. January 3rd, you have the full moon, the supermoon. It reaches its full phase at 15:03 UTC time. This is a supermoon appearing larger and brighter than the average due to its proximity to the Earth. January 3rd, Earth is at perihelion. At approximately 7:15 UTC, the Earth reaches its closest point to the Sun in its annual orbit. And even though us in the Northern Hemisphere were tilted away from it, the Earth is actually the closest, even though it's probably in the north, typically the coldest month. It hasn't been a very cold winter here in Utah. Instead of 20s and 30s and snow, we've been 40s and 50s. When we get moisture, it's rain. We haven't had a ton of moisture. Things are looking pretty bleak here. You go up in the mountains, it looks really bleak here. So I'd like to have some periods where during full moon we get a lot of moisture, a lot of rain in the valley, a lot of snow up top. I'm tired of snow. It's 60. I don't need the snow anymore. Anyway, that's just me. Moon observing this week. It's all about big and bright this week. Moon transitions from a fat gibbous to that full moon. I've talked about that. It's offering a prime window for viewing high contrast craters early in the week, and then probably some bright planetary pairings later on. The terminator line between day and night is moving across the western limb at this time. This is the best time to see long shadows inside some deep craters. December 28th, I'll come back through and do this on all these. Focus on the Oceanus Procellium Ocean of Storms. Look for the crater Gasy at the edge of the Mare Humerorum. Its fracture floor is a favorite for telescope users. Really good to see on that. December 29th, so this Sunday, that'd be a good something to observe if you've got clear skies. On December 29th, Terminator reaches Arcturus Plateau. The crater Aristarchus is the brightest spot on the moon and will practically glow against the darker basaltic plains. It's really, I have seen that one. That's really good to go after. December 30th, watch for Sinus Iridium, the Bay of Rainbows. The mountain range curving around this ancient bay creates a golden handle effect when the sun hits the peaks, while the bay floor is still in shadow. So there are some things early in the week to go after and take a look at. Midweek, on New Year's Eve, we talked about that. Use the moon as celestial guide. It's really close. It's very close to the Pleiades Messier 45. Just know that if you're looking at the Pleiades at that time in a telescope, the moon's at 90% illumination is going to wash out some of the fainter stars in the cluster naked eye. Binoculars will reveal the seven sisters huddled right next to a brilliant lunar disk. Might make for an interesting shot in a low power refractor for imaging there. The key here, the observing tip, is position the moon just outside of your field of view in binoculars to see the stars of the Pleiades more clearly if you want to look at those. This weekend highlight, like I said, the Wolf Supermoon, January 3rd, Saturday. It reaches perigee, its closest point to the Earth, on January 1st, leading into the full Wolf Moon on the morning of January 3rd. This is the closest and largest full moon of 2026. There it is. It will appear roughly 14% larger and 30% brighter than a micro moon. You have a Jupiter-Pollux trio. On the nights of January 2nd and 3rd, the moon forms a tight field of view triangled with the planet Jupiter and the star Pollux. Great wide field opportunity there for imaging. The moon sits lower to the right of Jupiter on January 2nd. On January 3rd, it moves directly below Jupiter, the Pollux line, creating a spectacular wide field binocular target. I put that on my calendar. I do want to use my binoculars and take a look at that. Once the moon's fully illuminated on January 3rd at supermoon, craters like Tycho and Copernicus will show their massive splash rays, bright streaks of ejecta that span thousands of kilometers across the surface. Take a look at that. And you can do that naked eye. Let's bring this back just a little here. So you can see just really quickly some quick dates and some dates that go here. Solar system, let's bring this up. I don't know, sometimes just as I format, when I was working on my laptop, it just hasn't come. I'm on my desktop right now. The biggest challenge, again, I always am going to put this in here. Here's remember to go to Skyhound Comet Chasing link for finder charts and information on comets that are visible visually with binoculars or telescopes. None visually right now. The supermoon is really going to impact comet hunting this week. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to pause really quick. Oh, come on, mouse. I guess I'm not going to sneeze. I'll keep going. Sorry. Interesting that my mouse does. There we go. Okay. Anyway, the biggest challenge, like I said, is the full supermoon and the waxing gibbous moon this week. It will wash out the faint fuzzy coma of most comets. You'll need to observe in that small window if you're going after a comet between moonset and sunrise or moonrise and sunset, depending on what you go after. There's two to go after, 24P Shumas. It's negative magnitude 8.5 to 9.0. It's available pre-dawn, basically 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's over in Coma Berenices and Virgo. C2024 E1 Wurchos. Magnitude is 10 to 11. It's early evening after sunset on the southeast horizon. Again, go to Skyhound Comet Chasing. You can get finder charts and see where those are. Probably the best bet is Comet 24P Shumas in the morning, in that pre-dawn morning. It's a periodic comet, returns every 8 years. It's currently heading toward its perihelion, its closest point to the sun, on January 8th, meaning it's at its absolute brightness during this week. Unfortunately, the moon's there. Appearance, it will look like a faint diffused cotton ball. Don't expect a long flowing tail without a long exposure camera. A small telescope should reveal a distinct brightening toward the center. It rises around midnight. It's at its highest just before dawn. It will be moving from the constellation Coma Berenices to Virgo. Again, use the link above to find the finder chart. Comet C24E1 Wurchos. comet is a bit fainter, but it's gaining brightness as it approaches its January 20th perihelion, which is again the closest point to the sun. It's currently just a telescopic object. It's magnitude 10 to 11. It's well placed in the sense that it's far from the sun, but its proximity to the horizon will make it tricky. Like here in Utah, it's probably too low for me because of the mountains that I have. Look on the southeastern horizon shortly after sunset. Because it's low, you need a very clear horizon free of trees, buildings, and I could also say, and I'll probably add this in, or because of where I live, mountains. Tips for viewing this week: avoid the moon. Since the moon's 90 to 100% illuminated, it acts like a giant light-polluting street lamp. The best time to look for 24P Shumas is on the morning of December 28th, the Sunday, or the 29th, Monday, when the moon sets an hour or two before sunrise, providing just a really brief window to take a look at it. Use averted vision off of it. When you look through binoculars or a telescope, don't look directly at the comet, just look a little bit off of it with your averted vision. That's again looking slightly to the side of it. I put it in there. This uses more of the light sensitive parts of your eyes, the rods, to help you pick up the faint glow of the comets. I would definitely plan on a dark sky. You're probably not going to see it from a suburban neighborhood or backyard this week due to the combination of light pollution and moonlight. So if you want to see it, you probably need to head out early in the morning, get up a little early before work or whatever. If you're retired like I am, then you can probably try to go to bed a little early, get up early, make sure you've loaded your car the night before, and then just head out, do a really quick setup. And I would probably use, for me, if I plan to do this, which depends on the skies, forecast is iffy this week, I would probably use the 101 Telview 101 MP, or just throw my 10-inch Dob in the back and take it out, maybe both. Visible planets this week. It is the week of the gas giants. That's about what I can say here. It is totally the week of the gas giants, and I'm going to bring this down so it's all on one. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, they're really in the sun's glare. You're not going to go for them this week. Jupiter and Saturn are beautifully perfect placed this week and are perfect to go after. Moon's not going to really impact your view of that. You do want really good seeing. Remember that post that I've done on transparency and seeing. If you have really good seeing, great time to go after these. South is that way for me, so Saturn's positioned up high, not high, but it's positioned in my southern view early in the evening. So that would probably be the first object I'd go for. Jupiter rises early in the evening and then transcends, but basically all night. And so when you look to the east, you'll see it. It's the brightest object in the sky next to the moon. And I saw one site said it was the brightest star. I will not call a planet a star. A planet is a planet. It's bright. You can see it. It's brighter than any star around it. It's a planet, and you definitely can see Jupiter when you do that. It's great in binoculars, great in a small scope, great in any telescope. Anyway, if you have good seeing, wonderful to get out and take a look at it. Anyway, you can see here, I've listed the planet, the magnitude, and the highlight of each of them. If you want to look through that on your own, you're welcome to do that. And you can look through here. I've also put in the finder charts for Uranus and Neptune. You can still go after those. Those are viable targets right now that you can go after. Need a telescope probably for them. I would recommend that highly, not just binoculars. You can probably see one or two of them in binoculars, but I'd just have a scope at least. Sunset to 7 p.m. Best time to catch Saturn before it gets too low in the southwest. 8 to midnight, best time for Jupiter, which will be high in the sky and sparkling at its peak brilliance. So go for Saturn, set up early, cool down. If you're using a Dob, get that mirror acclimated so you don't get a lot of burbly effects as the mirror is releasing heat. Get it cooled to ambient temperature as much as possible. If you're using a refractor, I'd get it set up so that once the sun's down, it's dark enough you can start taking a look at Saturn. During the week of December 28th, the constellations, I don't know why that did that. to January 3rd, the winter sky reaches is brilliant. You got the winter hexagon, which I've talked about. I've left it here. It's the feature. It's a massive asterism made of 6 first magnitude stars that span a huge portion of the sky. You have Sirius, and then Rigel, Aldebaran, Capella, Pollux and Castor, and Procyon. When you put all that together, it forms the winter hexagon. You can read about that there if you want to do that. 3 naked deep sky objects that you can look at this week. You always have the Pleiades during the winter. Orion Nebula is naked eye. You can see it in the sword hanging from Orion's belt. Even without a telescope, you can see the middle star looks really fuzzy. That's M42. And then you have the Hyades in Taurus. They form a V cluster in the face of Taurus, the bull. It surrounds the bright star, red star Aldebaran, and it's one of the closest star clusters to Earth, actually. You have the Moon Jupiter Pollux triangle, which I've mentioned, Earth at perihelion on January 3rd, and of course you can always see the belt of Orion. Let's move this down here to the next page. Double stars, winter double stars, great week for double stars. If you really wanted to do something with your scope this week, which I do, if I get a clear night, I'm actually going to be chasing double stars this week. You have Castor in Alpha Gemini, which is in Gemini. Separation, I got to go back and clean out the dollar signs. Those are supposed to be degree signs. It's a white pair. It's actually a sextuple system, 6 stars, but you'll see 2 bright eyes looking at you when you look at Castor. Rigel, it's a brilliant blue giant, supergiant with a tiny pinprick companion. The challenge here is the glare from the primary star to see if it overwhelms the companion. High magnification there. Almach in Andromeda, often called the winter alberio. It features a golden yellow primary and a vivid indigo blue companion. And I should mention there is the winter alberio. I'm going to probably add that in next week. It's in Canis Major. I need Canis Major to rise a little earlier, so I'll bring that up probably in February, as Canis Major then is up higher earlier in the evening. The winter alberio in Canis Major is beautiful. I was looking at it last time I was out at the end of the night. Mysterium and Aries is 2 identical white stars sitting side by side. They look like a pair of headlights, and they're very easy to split. Some challenges. You have Sirius, of course, with the pup. You can always try to take a look at that. Moon may impact that. Sigma Orionis, located just below Alteneck, the leftmost star in Orion's belt. It's not just a double, but it's a multiple star system. A small telescope will reveal 4 or even 5 stars in a very beautiful tight grouping. It's worth taking a look at that. That's one of the things that I want to look at this week. Zeta Canceri in Tegamine. It's a triple star system in the faint constellation of Cancer. To the naked eye, it looks like 1 star. A telescope at 100% magnification, at 100x, at 100 magnification, splits it into 2, and very high power may reveal the brighter component is itself a very close double. So see how high, if you have great seeing, take your magnification up 300, 500, 600, take a look and see what you can do. Use a lunar filter if the moon is near your target. Its light will flood the eyepiece. A neutral density moon filter can help darken the background and increase the contrast of the stars. Increase your magnification. Unlike galaxies, double stars often look better at higher powers. The higher magnification, the better they look a lot, especially if you have good seeing. It darkens the background in the sky and physically separates the stars further apart in your field of view. Wait for as they approach. I don't like going straight up in zenith with a refractor or Dob, but as they approach zenith and then come out of zenith, that's the time I really like to go after a lot of doubles. Check the scene like I've shared recently, and I've been talking about in this post. I've talked about it in another post. You want really good seeing. It just really helps. If they're twinkling wildly to your naked eye, you know the seeing's poor. Choose doubles like Sirius B or Castor. Just if you look at them when you have bad seeing, they're just going to look like blurry blobs on those nights. It's not worth it then. Deep sky objects, really we're taking a break from them this week because of the Waxing Gibbous moon heading to the supermoon on January 3rd. There are some things that you can that I guess are moon proof. We'll put them down here so they're all together. You have the Pleiades, you can always take a look at them. We always mention them. M42, you can see the double cluster is still out there in Perseus early in the evening. Beehive cluster is rising in Cancer, M44, beautiful open cluster. And Messier 35 in Gemini is always beautiful. I've been mentioning M35 for a while now. Some key stories for this week. It's been really an incredible week. There's been a lot of good things to come out. We said farewell to interstellar comet 3I Atlas now. It's past Earth's perihelion. It's on December 19th. It was the closest. We're far from that. It is streaking out now to leave our solar system. They used the Hubble Space Telescope and the JUICE probe recently to capture high-resolution images of the comet, and those revealed wobbling jets in its tail. What's next? Like I said, it's racing toward the outer solar system, unlikely ever to return to our sun's vicinity. Gone. Never see it again, probably. Did anyone notice that aliens did not come down from it? It did not change its trajectory. It did not have a maneuver event. It is a comet. And it's an interstellar comet, which is fascinating. Our third one. We'll definitely probably pick up more on these now as we have different technology and telescopes coming online and to use. And so, but it's time to let the trolling just to get posts to go away. Don't give them the time of day. Don't look at their stuff. It's all garbage. Anyway, off on that little side rant. On Christmas Day, an international team led by the University of Oxford, so on December 25th, announced the discovery of a massive 5.5 million light-year long chain of galaxies that is spinning as a single unit. I haven't put out a news release on that. I'll have to look a little bit more into this. I just saw this briefly, thought it was kind of cool. The cosmic filament contains 15 hydrogen-rich galaxies that are moving in sync with the structure that holds them together. That's pretty cool. This is one of the largest rotating structures ever observed. It provides a fossil record of cosmic flows, and it helps scientists to really understand how galaxies inherit their spin from the cosmic web itself. And so it's further refining their knowledge of that. James Webb this week they published off the James Webb the first compelling evidence of monster stars that existed shortly after the Big Bang. We saw chemical fingerprints. Researchers, they identified the unique chemical signatures of these gigantic primordial stars that were thousands of times more massive than our sun. The discovery helps solve a long-standing mystery about how the early first galaxies grew so quickly and where the heavy elements in the early universe originated, because it was mainly hydrogen and helium. So these massive stars formed quickly, burned out quickly. In the process of their quick lives, we know that they began to put out and burn heavier elements that as they collapsed and went supernova or black hole, they were able to push out those elements into the surrounding galaxy. We had the winter solstice this week and the Yersid meteor shower. I couldn't see either of them, so hopefully you guys got out, could celebrate the solstice on December 21st. It was the shortest day of the year, so every day is just going to get a little longer now until June. And then the Yersid meteor shower peaked the night of December 22nd. There's the newsletter. I hope you have clear skies when you are, and if you do, that you take the time to look up and to enjoy what's up there. Have a great one. I hope this helps you in planning for this week.